What's up, everybody? Welcome to another director ranking video. Yes, it's been a good while since I've done a director ranking video. This is the first time of this year I've done it. Last one I did was Edgar Wright, I remember. But yeah, those that don't know what a director ranking video is, it's where I rank every film from a certain director, from my least favorite to favorite. I've done others such as Wes Anderson, David Lynch, and Quentin Tarantino, among others as well. Go check those out. But today I will be ranking all of Todd Phillips' films. Yes, from my least favorite to favorite. All 10 of his films. Yeah. So yeah, Todd Phillips. I like Todd Phillips. He's not like an amazing director, but I think he's pretty good. He mostly does comedy, mostly except for his last film. But but yeah, he mostly does comedy, and I think most of them are pretty good. So yeah, I watched them all, and I decided to do a ranking. So all right, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All 10 of his films, 10 be my least favorite, one be my favorite. Okay, and of course, keep in mind these are my personal opinions. Yes. Okay, so coming in at number 10, we got Due Date from, I believe, the year 2010, and it stars Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis. Yeah, Due Date. I didn't hate it. It was okay, but I didn't love it. I didn't think it was that great, really, and it's kind of a ripoff of a much better film, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But I will say the strength of this movie has to be the chemistry between Robert Down. Did I say Robert De Niro? I'm going to say Robert Downey Jr. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but yeah, the chemistry between Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis is very good. Um, but unfortunately, this movie wasn't all that funny, and there were just some moments in it that I was just like, really? Like, I just thought was just a bit too much for this comedy. Um, yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. I honestly don't see myself rewatching it, at least anytime soon. So yeah, Due Date, that is my number 10, my least favorite Todd Phillips movie. All right, so coming in at number 9 is a movie that I actually liked quite a bit before, or at least I thought it was pretty good, but rewatching it, I didn't love it this time. That is War Dogs from 2016, starring Jonah Hill and Miles Teller, and Ana de Armas as well. Yeah, I didn't love this movie. I kind of thought it was a little bit boring this time around. But again, good chemistry between Jonah Hill and Miles Teller. Honestly, you're gonna like a lot of these movies. You're gonna see a lot of them have like the actors have really good chemistry, and even the bad movies. Yeah. This one, yeah, that's like the biggest thing I can give it. Just like Due Date is that, uh, the chemistry with the two leads is good. But like and this one, I don't know if this one's really much of a comedy. I know there's some comedic moments in it, and it's okay. But yeah, I don't really love War Dogs that much. And also, it kind of feels a little bit like he's trying to be Martin Scorsese in this movie. So yeah, I don't know. I just didn't care for this one this time around. I liked it okay before, but now not really that into it. So yeah, that's my number 9, War Dogs. All right, so coming in at number 8, if my phone will load. Okay, just give me a second. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So coming in at number 8, we have a movie that is part of his only trilogy, that is the Hangover trilogy, and we have the second installment in the Hangover trilogy, that is the Hangover Part 2. And this was released in 2011, I believe. Yeah, 2011. Um, Yeah, The Hangover Part 2 is my least favorite Hangover movie. This one just, I don't know. This one, it wasn't bad. In fact, it was actually pretty funny. Like, I liked it, but it felt a little bit too much like the first movie. It was a little bit darker, but it was a little bit, I don't know. It seemed like it was just about the same movie as the first, and I just that definitely, took down some points for that. But, overall it's okay. It's pretty good, but I don't love it because of that because it feels too much like the first movie. So, yeah, Hangover Part 2, that is my number 8. All right. Coming in at number 7 is another movie that I actually used to really like. Like I really liked this movie before. But rewatching it, I didn't love it. It just wasn't as funny as I remembered. That is Starsky and Hutch from 2004, um, starring Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson and Snoop Dogg. But yeah, this movie kind of disappointed me this time around because I used to love this movie. I thought it was hilarious. But I don't know. There's still some really funny moments like the do it scene. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The do it scene is still hilarious. I still laugh my ass off whenever I watch that scene when Ben Stiller goes, "Do it, do it." It's really funny. And yeah, Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson have really good. They have really good chemistry, much like the other movies I mentioned. Um, but yeah, their chemistry in this movie is really good. They usually do have good chemistry, anyways. And Snoop Dogg as Huggy Bear, perfect casting. He was outstanding, um, without a doubt. But yeah, aside from those, like I don't know, you also have Vince Vaughn and Juliette Lewis and some other actors. I think Jason Bateman, and they're fine. I don't know. I didn't really love Vince Vaughn. I usually really like Vince Vaughn quite a bit in other movies, but this one he didn't really do much for me, unfortunately. And he was the villain, and I don't know. He didn't really do much for me. So yeah, I didn't love Starsky and Hutch, unfortunately. I think it's fine. I think it's all right. It just wasn't as good as I remember because I used to love it. But yeah, Starsky and Hutch is number 7. All right, number 6 is the first installment in the Hangover trilogy. Yeah, of course, the one that started all the Hangover from 2009. Um, Now, yeah, so I watched this one a long time ago, and I didn't really like it to be honest back then. I didn't really think it was all that funny, and I just wasn't really into it. But rewatching it, I liked it a lot better. I still, however, I don't think this movie is all the way funny. There's a lot of misses, but there are some hits as well. I mean, there are some good funny moments, but not every joke lands. But however, I will say the storytelling in actually all of these movies are pretty good. I actually liked the story quite a bit in this movie, rewatching it, and the lead performances, Zach Galifianakis, Bradley Cooper, and Ed Helms, all great. I mean, they're all great in all of these movies, anyways. But yeah, um, yeah, The Hangover. That is my number 6. Yeah, my number 6. All right. So, however, though, my number 5, as you can tell, there was another Hangover movie I haven't talked about yet, and you probably think I'm crazy that this is my favorite in the trilogy, but it actually is. Like I think this is a lot of people's least favorite in the trilogy, which I kind of get it because it's different from the other two, but that's actually why it's my favorite. Um, yeah, my number 5 is The Hangover Part 3 from 2013, I believe. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, this one's actually my favorite because it's different. Like I was actually happy that it started out different because the second one it was pretty much exactly the same as the first movie, like I said. But this one is different. This one is kind of a little bit more like a thriller. I mean, of course, it's still a comedy, but I don't know. It's a little bit more like a thriller. And now I will say I'm not like a humongous fan of these movies, but I still liked them enough to buy all three of them. So and there are some moments in the third movie that I didn't really like all that much. But overall though, I thought it was I honestly really enjoyed it, and it was my favorite in the trilogy. So yeah, The Hangover Part 3 is my favorite in the trilogy, and that is my number five. All right, so number four is a movie that actually surprised me. I honestly wasn't expecting really anything from this movie, and I think a lot of people would put this as their least favorite in the Todd Phillips filmography, but I actually thought this one was very underrated. My number five, or no, that was my number five. My number four is School for Scoundrels. Yes, which came out in 2006 and starred Billy Bob Thornton and John Heater. And yeah, this movie actually surprised me. I actually liked this movie quite a bit. I thought it was, for the most part, pretty funny. Actually, very funny. There was some misses. Not every joke lands again, um, but the ones that hit pretty good, I have to say. And there's even a hilarious scene in it that I remember that involved pepper spray. If you watch the movie, maybe you know I'm talking about. But that made me laugh really hard when that came on. But yeah, and again, chemistry is very good between Billy Bob Thornton and John Heater. And I had to say, I mean, Billy Bob Thornton's a great actor, but John Heater surprised me in this movie. I mean, of course, I like him in Napoleon Dynamite, and I even like him in what was it? Oh, what was that movie? Monster House. Yeah, Monster House. That was a movie, a kids movie that I grew up with. I think he's good in those, but he was actually a pretty. He was actually pretty good in this movie, and he was like the lead in this movie too. But he was actually pretty. He was surprisingly good in this movie. He really surprised me. But yeah, Skull for Scoundrels. I think it's underrated. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. You might not like it, but I thought it was pretty good. Surprised me. So yeah, Skull for Scoundrels. That is number four. All right, my number three is another movie that actually surprised me. And that this one is his debut film. That's right. That is number three, Road Trip from the year 2000, starring um, was it Sean William Scott, Breckin Meyer, and Tom Green. But yeah, this movie, I I wasn't expecting really anything from this movie. I didn't. I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe it would be okay at best, but no, I actually surprisingly really liked it, and I had to buy the DVD because I couldn't find it streaming anywhere. But yeah, I'm glad that I liked it because now I'm keeping it. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really funny, actually, like really funny for the most part. And Also, this movie gave us Tom Green. If it wasn't for this movie, we wouldn't have got Freddy Got Fingered. So we wouldn't have got Freddy Got Fingered if it wasn't for this movie. So yeah. Oh god. But yeah, I really enjoyed Road Trip. I thought it was a really funny movie, a really great time. Yeah, Road Trip. That is my number three. Okay, my number two is a movie that I did grow up with. Well, in my teenage years at least. And unlike Starsky and Hutch, this one still holds up. This one is still really good and really funny. And yeah, my number two is from 2003, Old School. Yes. Yeah, starring Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Will Ferrell. All great in this movie too. All of them are great. And this might have been this and Elf, I think. Yeah, were the movies that put Will Ferrell on the map. Now I think Will Ferrell was already kind of making a name for himself on SNL. Like he was already kind of popular because of Saturday Night Live. But but this and Elf were the movies that like made him what he is as a comedic actor, and he's great in this movie. This is one of his best movies, without a doubt. And yeah, again, same with Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is hilarious in this movie, and Luke Wilson as well is great. Just a really funny college movie, and yeah, Road Trip was actually a college movie too. I forgot to mention that, but this one does it even better. This one does the good old college comedy. It does it very well. Like Animal House. Yeah, not as good as Animal House, but still, it's still a very good comedy for sure. And yeah, this movie still holds up. I think it's great. Yeah, Old School. That is my number two, and it would be my number one if it wasn't for a certain movie that he just had to change his genre with this, because all these other movies are comedies. Well, I guess War Dogs, yeah, I guess that's kind of a comedy too. But yeah, all these other movies are comedies except for this one. And you probably even knew what number one was going to be before you even clicked on the video. But oops. And I'm usually not the kind of guy that will pick the cliches, as their number one. But this one I had to. Yeah, my number one is his most recent film. Excuse me. And that is Joker from 2019, of course, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro. Yeah, this movie, like, you watch first, you watch, well, hell, his debut film, Road Trip. You watch that, and then you watch this, and you're like, that's the same director? Yeah, surprisingly, it is. I know it's crazy, but it's crazy that Todd Phillips directed this movie. He even got nominated for Best Director for this movie. He didn't win, but he was nominated. So, yeah. But this is a fantastic movie. I know this is a divisive movie. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, and some that even hate it and say it's really bad. But I disagree. I think this movie's great. I always loved this movie. But yeah, and Walking Phoenix, he deserved the Oscar. He did. He was fantastic in this film. I will say though, I am very nervous about the sequel. I'm honestly not looking forward to it. Not because of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I like that. I like that Lady Gaga is going to be Harley Quinn. I think that's really good casting. But it's the fact that the sequel is going to be a musical. Like what? I mean, I don't like musicals anyways, but I mean, this movie's not even a musical, so I don't understand why the sequel is going to be a musical. So yeah, and I think it's also going to be directed by Todd Phillips as well. And I did hear that Todd Phillips, I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but he was going to do a Hulk Hogan biopic with I think it was Chris Hemsworth as Hulk Hogan, but I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if he still is. Maybe it's postponed. Maybe he just wanted to do Joker sequel first. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not looking for the second one. But I do like this movie. I do a lot. I think it's great. I think it's definitely Todd Phillips' best film. And yeah, Joker. That is my number one favorite Todd Phillips movie. All right, there we go. There is my Todd Phillips my Todd Phillips ranking. So in the comments, please give me your, if you've seen all of his films, give me your ranking of Todd Phillips films. Uh, and if you haven't seen all of them, that's fine. Just rank the ones that you've seen. And if you don't want to rank, just say what your favorite and least favorite Todd Phillips movie is. So yeah. All right. So um okay, so next week, next Wednesday will be my ranking for uh it'll be my ranking for the Beastie Boys discography. So check that out. Oh, and also I forgot to mention before that on Saturday, look out for a new Your Cousins Are Critics episode where me and Cade talk about the movie Hereditary. So look out for that. Yeah. That one hopefully will be a good one. um yeah. All right, so please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell, and I'll see you later. All right, peace.